What if the first thing you do each morning is quietly driving away your money and your peace? You already know the feeling. You reach for your phone before your feet hit the floor, and instead of starting your day, you're reacting to someone else's urgency before you've even had coffee. There's a Buddhist teaching about right intention that explains exactly why this happens. And the shift is simpler than you think. The numbers are startling. Nearly 80% of people check their phones within the first 10 minutes of waking up, not because they want to, because the device is right there and the habit has become invisible. But here's what most people don't know. The first 30 to 45 minutes after you open your eyes are a window of high neuroplasticity. Your brain is especially absorbent during this time, and your body is running a natural stress hormone spike called the cortisol awakening response. This is biology, not character. Your whole system is designed to rise slowly, like a pond warming in the sun. When you layer someone else's demands on top of that, you're doing more than checking a message. You're throwing a stone into still water. The ripples don't stay in your phone. They move through your whole day. An email from your boss, a Slack notification, a news headline that jacks up your heart rate before your feet have even touched the floor. You haven't started your day. You've started someone else's. And the cruel part is how normal this feels. Everyone does it. The coffee shops are full of people hunched over screens before 7 a.m. But normal isn't the same as harmless. So let's look at what this actually costs you, because the price is higher than a stressful morning. I want to talk about what reactivity actually costs you because it goes deeper than stress. When your first input of the day is external and urgent, your entire mindset shifts into defense. You are no longer moving towards something. You are running away from something, running away from disappointing someone, from missing something, from being behind before the day has even begun. This is the opposite of what Buddhism calls right intention. Right intention means your actions are born of clarity, not craving and not aversion. Morning reactivity is almost pure aversion. Aversion to being left out, to seeming slow, to the discomfort of not knowing what waits in your inbox. And when aversion drives your morning, it tends to drive the rest of your decisions too. Research shows that starting your day with phone use fragments your attention for hours afterward. The brain's first meal is noise, and noise is a terrible breakfast. Think about what this means in practical terms. You sit down at your desk, already flooded. Your body is upregulated before your first real task. So when the first hard email arrives, you don't have the buffer to meet it well. You reply too fast, agree to the wrong meeting, and say yes to a client who drains you because there's no room inside to say no with kindness. These aren't moral failures. They're the natural fruits of starting behind. And this brings us to the part most people miss, because the cost isn't just mental, it's financial too. When you begin your workday in a state of reaction, the decisions that follow tend to be short-term, defensive, and scarcity-based. You negotiate from fear. You cut corners to save time you never really had. You chase quick wins because your body is crying out for relief. This is what it means to drive away money, not through bad luck, but through the state of your mind when you make the choices that shape your income. So let's sit with that for a moment. Most people think money and peace are on opposite ends of a seesaw. More money means less peace. More peace means less drive. But Buddhism teaches something different. The Buddha called it the middle path. It's not asceticism on one side and frantic achievement on the other. It's the way of clarity, and clarity is the single condition under which both money and peace can coexist. You don't have to choose. You have to begin differently. Think of your mind like a pond. When it's disturbed, you can't see the bottom. You can't see what's actually there. The demands, the notifications, the someone else's urgency. They are the stones, and a day that starts with stones keeps collecting them. By noon, the water is so churned up that every decision you make is reactive. By evening, you are exhausted from a day you never chose. The teaching here isn't complicated. It's ancient, and it's practical. What you feed your mind first sets the tone for everything after. Not because of magic, but because of momentum. A reactive start creates a reactive day. An intentional start creates space. And space is where good decisions grow. So what does intention look like in real life? It's not about waking up at 4 in the morning or chanting for an hour, and it's not about becoming someone else. It's about one small shift in the first 10 minutes. Before you touch a device, sit for 1 minute, not 20. 1. Ask yourself a single question. What am I bringing to my work today? Not what do I need to get done, not what fires need putting out. What am I bringing? Presence, patience, honesty, steadiness. Pick one word. Let it land. This isn't meditation as performance. It's orientation. It's dropping an anchor before the current takes you. When you set your own internal reference point first, everything that follows reorganizes around it. The same emails come, the same Slack messages, but you meet them from a different place. There's a second piece to this, and it's just as important. The concept of non-attachment. In Buddhism, non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring about your work or your income. It means you stop letting the outcome decide how you feel about yourself. You set your intention. You do your work with care, and then you release the need for the day to go perfectly. This is where most people get stuck, and it's worth slowing down here. Intention without attachment sounds like a contradiction to the modern professional. You're supposed to care deeply about results, hustle and optimize and make sure everything lands. But caring deeply and attaching your worth to the result aren't the same thing. One creates energy, the other creates anxiety. And anxiety is expensive. When you hold your intention lightly, you preserve the clarity that makes good work possible. You don't exhaust yourself before lunch fighting reality. You respond instead of react. You choose instead of flinch. And over time, that difference compounds into both better outcomes and a calmer body. Now here's what makes this actually work. It's not 3 separate tips. It's one system. When you protect the first 10 minutes, you protect your nervous system. When your nervous system is steady, your decisions improve. When your decisions improve, your material outcomes and your inner peace stop fighting each other. They were never enemies. They were both downstream from the same source. The biology, the psychology, and the spiritual teaching all point to the same thing. The cortisol window, the fragmented attention, the right intention, the non-attachment. They aren't separate disciplines, they're one living practice, viewed through different lenses. And the practice is this. Start your day with one breath that belongs to you. One moment of stillness before the world rushes in. One question that orients your mind toward presence rather than panic. That's the anchor. Everything else builds on it. Here are 3 things you can try tomorrow morning. No apps, no timers, just practice. First, the 10-minute rule. No email, no Slack, no news for the first 10 minutes after you wake. Not because the world can't wait, but because you can't afford to start behind. 10 minutes is short enough to feel possible and long enough to change the entire texture of your morning. Second, the 1-minute anchor. Before any device, sit for 1 minute and ask yourself what you are bringing to your work today. Write it down if that helps. One word is enough. Let that word be the first input your mind receives, not someone else's demand. Third, notice your first input. Most people have no idea what they let into their mind first. Is it a screen? Is it worry? Is it a notification that sets your heart racing before you have even stood up? Awareness is the first move. You can't change a pattern you can't see. Start with the 10-minute rule. It's the highest leverage move. Everything else grows from there. So that's the shift. One protected window, one intentional breath, and the whole day reorganizes around clarity, not perfection. Clarity. Start tomorrow. Not with a new app, just with the first 10 minutes. If this landed, share it with someone who's navigating the same path. And subscribe, we go deeper every week.